So last time we discussed about how the internet connection works and what is the client server architecture and the things. I think you all can hear me, right? So I need your response before proceed further. So if you can't hear, just you can put a note on the chat. Yes, okay, you can hear. Right. So last week, actually last time we were discussing about how the internet connection works and what is the client server architecture and the things we discussed. For today, we are going to discuss about types of internet connections. So this topic is very important and interesting. So let's move for that. Types of internet connections. So here basically we have in previous, actually at the beginning we had dial-up internet connections. So a very ancient model of the internet connection, dial-up internet connection, and it is used a standard telephone line connection to connect to the internet. The rate of uh, flow or amount of information that can be conveyed depends on the speed of the modem. So usually it's a very slow internet connection, and nowadays we can't see a kind of internet connection because nowadays we are having ADSL and wireless technologies like 4G, 5G, or kind of things we have. So that's why we can't see a dial-up connection nowadays. Even if the situation like that, so we need to discuss what is the dial-up connection and how it had been established at the past 10 years ago, or more than 10 years, right? So here that is the important thing, because you know the how the internets are evolved from the basic to the level which we are in today. Here this is the very basic level, a dial-up internet connection, and I'll show you a very simple video because you don't know how the dial-up connection works. For that I need to, before that I illustrate a diagram and then I'll show you the video also. So I need my OneNote. So dial-up connection is a connection like this, right? So here we have our computer here. So this is our computer, right? This is our computer. And in this computer, we need to connect to the internet. So because this computer is a digital device and we need to convert the signals which are coming from this device to the analog signal. So there is a unit here. This is a unit. And this unit convert our digital signals to analog signals, and we can transmit those signals by using our general telephone lines, right? So this is a modem. This is a modem. A modem can convert digital signals into the analog signals, and also analog signals also the digital signals. We can convert for the both sides, because if the signals coming from this side, always they are analog signals, and then we need to convert those signals to the digital signals, because the computer can only understand digital signals. So we need to convert to both sides. So that's the role of the modem. So here from this place there is a regular telephone line. These are the telephone lines. So these wires go like this, and then there is a center here. So this center is ISPs. ISP means Internet Service Provider. Internet Service Provider's Central Office, right? So this is the office, and the connection is like this. So after that, then this ISPs connect to the internet. So this is the internet. This is the internet, and it is coming from internationally, and this is our local ISP, Internet Service Provider, and then the internet comes to these telecommunication lines, and those signals are analog signals. These signals are analog signals. Analog signals, right? So we need to convert these analog signals into the digital signals by using this modem. From this area, we can see digital signals, right? So now, to where we need to connect this port. So that is the problem I think you have to. So how can we connect these? Actually, what is the port we need to connect this wire? So in earlier computers, we can see, actually we could see a kind of, I'll show you an interface. So here in earlier computers, we can see these type of slots for the ports, right? So one is for one message. What's that? RJ45. Yeah, RJ45 we can use with modern internet connections, but earlier days we have to use our direct telephone lines, right? So with RJ45 connection, we had another connection like RJ11 for the telephone connection. We can connect to this port, right? So this is the direct telephone line. Nowadays we can't see a kind of port, just only we are having only the RJ45 connection, but earlier days we had RJ10, RJ11, not 10, RJ11 port. This one RJ45, right? So this one RJ11, earlier days we used this port, right? We have different types of modem, that sometimes we have a modem and then we can connect to this port also. So basically, to understand the concept very clearly, the connection actually based on the telephone line. So telephone line means if you plug out your landline in your home, you can see a very small connection like this in the receiver side, right? Just with a simple lock like this, and then this is the wire, right? So you can see that one. So this is very similar to the RJ45, but this is a small connection, very tiny connection than the RJ45. That's why RJ stand for registered jack, right? RJ means registered jack. So we can use both RJ45 and the RJ11 because I need to emphasize the concept here because we use general telephone line. So that's why we need to connect that general telephone line by using RJ11 jack. Okay, so that is about the very basic level dial-up internet connection. So then we can move forward with other types. But before that, I can see another message. So, sir, can we use our normal computer as a modem? No, we can't use. So modem is not a computer, right? Modem is not a computer. Modem is a general device. In nowadays, we can see modems like this also. So there's my cursor, this one. So sometimes you might have seen a kind of modems like this. So just we directly plug this modem into the computer USB port, right? So directly we can connect. Maybe 4G, maybe 3G, yeah, 3G. Oh, if I get my erase, there's a problem. So I'm not going to get my eraser. So this should be 3G, right? So This type of modems also always we can see, and there is a SIM card here. We can insert a SIM card. So, and the SIM card contains with a mobile number, and this is also a modem, and this modem can also convert the digital signals into the analogs and analogs into the digital. So basically this we can connect this type of modems to the USB port, right? Always sometimes you may say this is a dongle, right? So the common word is dongle, or this is also a modem. But this modem and this modem are different types of modems, because this is the very ordinary level of modem. This is the bone of the modem. So these are the very evaluated types of modems, newer ones, right? So directly we can plug into the USB port and then we can use. So this is also a modem, and the same thing we can do. So this is the dial-up connection, and this is the very ordinary level modem. And this modem can convert the digital signals into the analog, and analog also for the digital. So directly we can connect this one for our RJ11 port or the 45. Then we can use the internet connection. But the problem is that this internet connection is very slow, right? So when we use this type of connection, we can't stream videos, we can't stream games, the kind of things we can't do by using this kind of internet connections. So that is the problem of this connection. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask before moving to the next part. Okay, so I move forward with other types of connections. Yeah, one message. In yes, fiber connection also we have a modem, that is a ADSL modems we can use with a kind of things, because the always the signals are coming like analog signals, and then we need to convert those signals to the digital signals. So anyway, if we use which type of connection, we need to have a modem, right? So the generation and the way the way they design modem may be different, and different technologies they use, they are that can happen, right? But the problem is we should have a modem. Okay, now we are moving forward with building blocks for the internet connections. I really happy to see your messages, because really it's a really good interaction with the lecture. So then I really happy to answer your questions. You can ask anything. Now building blocks. So building blocks of internet connection. Mainly we should have internet connection. That means internet service provider and a computer, modem, and telephone line. So these are the things we need to have in order to get the internet. Here now again we are talking about the types of internet connections, and we discussed about the very ordinary or the basic level internet connection, that is a dial-up connection. So now we are moving forward with broadband internet connection. So you all know this one, broadband. So broadband, what is the meaning of that term? How internet connect to ISP. So there is in internet service providers, they have their own servers, right? So the internet, that's also I'll show you. In Sri Lanka, Telecom and Learn are the ISPs in Sri Lanka, and Dialog, Mobitel, and the rest of the organizations also we can see. But mainly we are going to discuss about Learn and Sri Lanka Telecom. Anyway, in because you are really lucky, because actually you can see the internet connections beyond your university. So it comes like this. If we consider Sri Lanka like this, actually I can't draw Sri Lanka very formally. Anyway, for if you consider Matra here, okay, another message. No, I'll tell you the difference. Here, this is, so consider this diagram first. Consider this diagram first, then I'll talk more about this one. So think about this diagram first. So this is the cable structure of the world, right? So these are the cables, and these are the undersea cables, and they are moving here, and they are from another country to some other country like this. These are the wired connections between the countries, right? If we consider Sri Lanka, actually we can't see the Sri Lanka because we are having so many wire connections here. Let's move, let's zoom and see. Yeah, Sri Lanka. Yeah, this one. Can you see the set of wires here? Here, you can see this is Bay of Bengal gateway. This is Colombo, right? Colombo, Sri Lanka. And we are having different wire connections. Let's zoom further, and then we can see how it is coming to our country. So here you can see CMEV4, that is another one cable. And what about this one? This is for Mount Leonia connection, and this is for Atmalan connection. So basically, we are having three connections for Colombo, and here also this is Matara, and we can see another connection. So this connection, this is the connection which is coming from the internationally, and that is the coming from the other countries, and this is the connection network, right? So this connection is directly connected to the Sri Lanka Telecom Office, right? So then that telecom office, that is the ISP, internet service provider, and it takes that internet from these connections. Here we can see three connections here and one here. So these four connections are connected to the Sri Lanka Telecom, and then they distribute the internet. So that is how they take internet, right? Any questions? And someone was asking about ISP and modem. Are they doing same work? No, ISP means internet service provider. Actually, it's the local gateway, and it is connected with the international internet lines like Sri Lanka Telecom. Sri Lanka Telecom obtains internet from the international wire lines, right? So they take internet connection by using these four connections, and they distribute inside our country. So that is the role of the telecom. So that is ISP, internet service provider. So modem is not a kind of thing. A modem is a digital device, and that device convert the signals which is coming from the telecom or the any other ISP, because these signals are analog signals, because they are coming from the wires, they are electronic signals, but computer cannot understand electronic signals directly. We need to interpret that electronic signals to the digital signals. For that, we need to use a modem, and modem can convert that digital signal, that analog signals, into the digital signals in order to understand the computer, right? Any questions about that? Yes, we are having actually Sri Lanka Dialog, Mobitel, SLT, Airtel, Hutch. We are having so many ISPs in Sri Lanka, not only one or two. Yeah, sometimes some companies use both type of connections. Sometimes they use satellite connections, sometimes they use CMEV or the undersea submarine cables, but majority of the companies use submarine cables. And Dialog and other uh, cellular companies most of the time use satellite technologies to obtain internet internationally. Most of the time now they are fiber, not copper. So the submarine cables are fiber connections because we need very huge speed. So that's why we use fiber, because it's better than the copper normal cables. Right, and I'll show you what are the cables and the structures also. So, but basically I need to show the types of internet connections and the technologies they use. So broadband connection, we were discussing about broadband connection. So broadband connection, what is the meaning of the broadband connection? I replaced this slide. What happened actually? Let's see again. Yes, broadband is a telecommunication technology that provides high-speed internet access using multiple channels. So what about these multiple channels? What is the meaning of these multiple channels? So multiple channels means they use different types of uh, signal levels. I don't know how should I say. Channels means they use various frequencies, right? They use multiple frequencies to transmit digital signals, so the internet signals. They use multiple channels means that, right? So they use different types of frequencies of simultaneous digital signals. So a broadband may transmit on wired connection. Sometimes there may be an MCQ. Broadband connection transmit signals only using wired connection. What should be your answer? But actually broadband means not we use wires, right? That is not the meaning. Broadband means sometimes when I say broadband, just you think, yeah, that is the connection which is coming from our road line, and then there's a splitter and then we take the internet. So that is the broadband. And other connections which are using 4G or the wireless connection, those things are not the broadband connections. Sometimes you may think like that. That is not the case. So here the broadband may transmit on a wired connection using coaxial cables, fiber optic, twisted pair, or wirelessly on cellular networks, right? Don't think broadband means wires. No, that is not the case. Wireless also there. Wireless broadband is also available, right? And one more question. Are all the connections only connect with ISP, or if not, what are the others? Actually, I can't understand your questions. What you are asking, are all the connections